The secret company that owns 43. The secret company that owns 30% of all YouTube subscribers.
There's one single company that accounts for 30% of the entire subscriber base on YouTube, with creators like Mr. Beast, Ryan Tran, and Kai
What they mean, like,
Cenat, and
I'm gonna
hundreds
see.
more
Surely they don't mean like bot subscribers.
under their belt. Knight Media has quickly become the largest management agency on the internet. Here's just a
Media management, okay.
short list right now of some of the
I guess that means like out of all of their creators that they have on their management team or signed to their management, they own 30% of all the viewers on YouTube.
creators that they're confirmed to be managing. Let's take a look at how they accomplish this and how they're taking steps to almost single-handedly control the future of YouTube. The story begins in 2014 when founder Reed Dutcher, who was an NFL sports agent at the time, would get introduced to his younger cousin's favorite YouTube channel, Dude Perfect. After being stuck in the sports industry for a while, he started to realize online content creation was rapidly outpacing traditional media. But no one on YouTube was making proper businesses or being represented at the level.
He saw an opening. He said, "Hey, nobody's doing this, so let me start it."
That these NFL athletes or pro celebrities were. There was a huge opportunity. So he spent some time crafting a kick-ass email and reached out to Dude Perfect, who at the time had about 2 million subscribers. And to his surprise, he got a response back in the next 10 minutes to set up a call.
10 minutes is crazy. They were ready. They've been looking for something.
But this was a huge shock to happen also quickly. He had to immediately figure out what kind of value he could bring to the Dude Perfect team. And when he started talking to them, the situation became very clear. Remember, this was 2014. Back then, it was impossible for creators on YouTube to get sponsorships because brands didn't really see YouTube as a serious thing yet. But
yeah, I don't think YouTube started getting
expertise and connections from
a lot of advertisement until like 2016 or something, 17.
Being an NFL agent, he put his reputation on the line.
But I think they did start monetization pretty early. It had to have been before 2014, but I don't know about ad or like actual company ads.
With absolute confidence for the boys to guarantee them results, and Dude Perfect decided to give him a shot. And although he had found the big breakthrough that he was looking for, there was only a limited time to make this a reality. He really had to prove himself here, or it was just all going to fall apart. So he started with the friends and brands that he had already worked with and built good relationships with from his time as an NFL sports agent. And prioritizing the brands that would be a natural fit for Dude Perfect's content, he met with one of his friends from a company called Callaway Golf. And it was tricky because just like all the others, the golf company did not believe in YouTube at all, but Reed really pulled out all the stops here, as he brought tons of case studies and data to overwhelmingly prove that Dude Perfect's promotion was going to be a success. And eventually they signed
Dude Perfect as your first contractor, I guess it would be. First person you're working for. Hey, in 2014 too, they had 2 million subscribers. I remember back then, Dude Perfect was going crazy. They're a household name now, pretty much.
Signed a starter deal for a 3-month partnership. And with this proof of concept, Reed knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime
That looks amazing on the portfolio.
So he dropped absolutely everything in his life and immediately moved to Dallas, where Dude Perfect was based out of. And so began the founding of Knight Media, or as it's rebranded to today, Knight Inc. However, it wasn't going to be so simple. Sure, he had gotten one really good deal and the company had been founded, but Dude Perfect wouldn't be able to commit to him just like that. It was only one deal after all. So while his main focus would be working for Dude Perfect
directly, had a single
in
deal.
the meantime, he would work to expand and grow Knight on the side as he built up his proof of results and success with content creators. And while Dude Perfect wasn't technically a part of the Knight roster just yet, Reed was able to use them as a success story when talking with other creators and
That's what I was saying. Use that as my portfolio.
Negotiating with more brands. So
when
in a bid to expand his roster further, he next went to just finding creators that he already liked watching. And the next one was the streamer known as Typical Gamer from Justin.tv, which would later rebrand into the Twitch.tv that we all know today.
I remember Typical Gamer. I used to watch some of his videos.
And this time, Reed decided to reach out to him with a much more serious offer to work together. The goal being this time not just
I
to
don't know
get a
what he
couple
be doing now.
sponsorships or a little bit of a side income, but to really partner together and completely blow up his channel. From dumping months of hard work into this creator, he was able to hugely blow up and gain major notoriety in the content creator community as a talented manager. And through this, he was able to establish his reputation as a proper manager, rather than just an agent who would get sponsors for creators. And this more involved style would allow him to pick up even more creators in the future. By 2017, Knight had been built into something quite notable, with dozens of creators ranging from a few 100,000 or even multi-millions.
You got a backlog now,
with a few massive outliers as well, and
it's
would
easy
also
to
sign
find
on as a
clients.
fully proper client too. And then everything changed once one little guy that was making videos in North Carolina found out about them. At the time, Mr. Beast had only about 1 million subscribers. Mr.
You got Mr. Beast on?
Beast knew deep within his soul that he could take things to 10 times the level that they were at. But there was a problem. He needed funding. Without proper funding, Mr. Beast couldn't realize his content dreams, and over time, as they talked more and more, Knight Media would really fall in love with the way that Mr. Beast approached content and the way his mind worked. He
got up in Mr. Beast's
pockets. Stats, data, and analytics, and was hardcore numbers oriented, and showed incredible potential and creativity with his content plans and strategies. However, when talking to their friends and other agencies about Mr. Beast, everybody thought that Knight Media was just absolutely crazy for even considering him in the first place. I mean, how could someone promise going from 1 million to 10 million subscribers in under a year and more? It was completely
This man had the vision.
Unheard of. But with all the data and
he saw Mr. Beast was gonna go crazy,
our founder Reed decided to take the risk and convinced his managers and other team members to take on Mr. Beast as a client. But that was only going to be the beginning. After all, Knight Media could help Mr. Beast, but if he was burning through money that quickly, the risk was immense. Even if they could secure him sponsorships, the chances that a creator whose content centered around giving away as much money as possible would crash and burn was well over 100 times.
Yeah, picking up Mr. Beast before the fame is a crazy risk investment, but it looks like it paid off.
Bigger risk compared to working with someone that was completely safe like Dude
Paid off
Perfect.
big.
It was a huge risk, and at the time, really just about nobody agreed with the direction that Reed was taking the company. But with how intricate and passionate Mr. Beast was being with YouTube, Reed knew that he had to make this opportunity work no matter what. And they would both begin to enter a contract together where Knight would help Mr. Beast secure funding for many different things and help improve his content. And it quickly became obvious that a creator like Mr. Beast, who actively burnt through as much money as possible, was going to be an amazing asset, but also an extremely dangerous one. So in order to curb the risk, Knight Media decided to look for some outsourced funding. Because after all, at this time, they were no longer some chump little organization. They had dozens of multi-million subscribed creators on their roster, and they were already starting to be a part of the forefront of YouTube. Knight would then begin reaching out to multiple capital companies and investors in order to find people who would help fund Knight Media, but also Mr. Beast, who would be their cornerstone moving forward. But raising funds really takes a lot of time. They needed to get people on board and test things out and have a ton of case studies.
I don't know what time this is, but it looks probably like this is from like 2018 to 2020 or something.
In order to really show companies how promising it was going to be. So in the meantime, Reed started working with Mr. Beast on his videos. For the first video they worked on together in depth, Mr. Beast wanted to make a Mythbuster type video where they would fire a gun at 1,000 magnets to see if those 1,000 magnets could stop a bullet. But as you can imagine, there was a lot of concerns with this type of content. Advertisers on YouTube just flat out did not want to sponsor videos where guns were involved in any way. And while it was
YouTube advertisers, YouTube does not like gun videos. I think they have released a new TOS for advertising in gun videos. I don't know what it was, but I think it was like gun creators can't have sponsors in their videos anymore or something like that.
It was true that guns were often used in mainstream media content. The reality was YouTube was being held to a different standard, and mainstream creations like movies often had a much more professional and regulated environment for those types of dangerous situations. However, Mr. Beast insisted that they posted the video no matter what. I mean, after all, they had already finished the video anyway, and there was no harm in at least just posting the video without a sponsor on it. And when Mr. Beast posted the video, everyone was absolutely shocked as it went on to get 57 million views in just
57. And how
the next 3 days.
57 million in 3 days? That's like 20 million views a day.
became one of the fastest growing videos ever at the time. As I'm sure you know, with all these brands and companies, everything goes out the window once the money's involved. And this would land them at the top of the attention list for brands and sponsorships moving forward.
Yeah, 20. Yeah, you put on your portfolio. We got 60 million views in 3 days using it with this creator.
And this is where things began to heavily change for Knight Media. Through dozens upon dozens of videos with Mr. Beast, the views he would rake in through the Knight partnership was absolutely insane. And Mr. Beast would actually hit that 10 million subscriber goal in 1 year that he said he would initially when talking to Reed in the first place. And in fact, he far surpassed it, hitting 13.8 million subscribers by the end of the year. And Knight's massive financial
He went from I don't know if it was a mil or something, under a mil. He went 3 mil over the goal, he said.
financial risk, as well as the sheer confidence in
one
Mr. Beast
year
as a creator, landed them in a position to now be managing the fastest growing creator on YouTube. Along the way, Knight Media would continue to expand their roster and get their hands on a ton of other creators that were also growing at a fast pace. Creators like Matt Stoney, ZHC, and Ryan Trahan. And with this, Knight was actively obtaining the largest creators on the platform. And in 2020, Knight would also sign on massive creators like Dream, Unspeakable, and so many more others. It's really such an incredible list. And of course, Mr. Beast would yet again continue to grow to new heights.
This media brand is going crazy.
Creator and helping take Knight to the next level. So in 2021, the media company would launch a $20 million investment fund, which was known as Knight Ventures. And the goal was to focus on YouTubers and creators that were interested in creating consumer-facing startups, which would then also have access to running promotions from the talent within Knight Media. And this was going to be absolutely huge for the creators who wanted to grow their brands, make advertisements, and grow their companies. They had such a huge roster of creators in a huge variety of different niches that the reach that Knight Media had was unlike anything else.
It is something for like making.
The reality was they were only going to.
They have made an investment, or like
and this
a firm
is where their platform
for
takeover really began.
People who wanted to make their own brands and stuff.
Yeah, because in 2022, Knight Media would receive an investment of $100 million. And using that, they were able to skyrocket their venture capital fund and provide much bigger resources within their investments, including an in-house studio for producing content. This way, Knight was leading the space not just as a talent management agency, but also as a fuel source for creators who were wanting to create businesses. And with their help, Mr. Beast founded Beast Burger as a ghost kitchen in February.
This is how Mr. Beast started his food stuff.
2020, and
I didn't even know that it was because he had a deal with a brand or with a company.
Feastables in.
I thought he just did this all by himself. He did it by himself, looking for the help of other people. I didn't know that the company has set it up for him, I guess.
In January of 2022. And over time, with just these two businesses alone, they had begun raking in hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue every year. And if they could do this with just even a few more creators, it was going to be an easy job to take things even further. So they did just that. With Knight Inc. creating content for an inside look into Feastables, and they also continued to acquire other talent agencies and expand their roster. And Knight
acquiring other talent agencies?
Inc. is only just starting to shape the future of content creation. YouTube has finally reached a point where its most popular creators are becoming the new celebrities. And the future of those content celebrities is expanding into mainstream businesses and media that reach much further beyond than just the platform itself. After all, as a popular influencer, you have an outstanding advantage when it comes to starting a new business. From day one, due to your existing brand, you can set up to sell literally millions of something, even if it's super saturated like we've seen with chocolate bars or other snack companies. And due to their brand, they also get a much bigger advantage when it comes to their popularity for networking, getting investors, hiring and building really strong teams. And as we're seeing with Mr. Beast, Ryan Tran, and many others, it looks like Knight is helping YouTube to finally bridge the gap between being just a popular online platform to one of the pinnacles of modern day culture. Recently, Mr. Beast has somewhat ended his contract with Knight Inc. actually, but they both left on good.
I think the time must have ran out on their contract
terms, and representatives
Mr. Beast didn't want to go back or something
from Knight have said that they will continue to have an ongoing partnership with Mr. Beast moving forward, just not a fully exclusive one, as Mr. Beast and his respective companies are reportedly pulling about $600 million per year in revenue right now. It seems that Jimmy maybe just wants to expand his partnerships and have more options to bring on new and more companies to help him build his future.
$600 million a year
continues to control thousands of creators, accounting for quite literally billions of subscribers, and one thing is for sure, are certain. Knight is pioneering the future of content creators. And as you see YouTubers pushing for these streamer deals, making their own companies, building brands, you can be certain that Knight Inc. is behind the scenes, orchestrating everything from the shadows. And real quick, if you're an aspiring YouTube creator interested in getting some help with growing your YouTube channel, I'm hosting a complete...
Hey man, it seems like Night Inc. They've been going crazy, acquiring other content companies. They started their own in 2014, working with Dude Perfect. Ever since then, they went up. They got Mr. Beast on. Ever since then, it's been up.